What's up YouTube, Adam here, and in this video I'm going to be bringing you my full review of the LG G4. Now apologies for it being slightly late, I did get my handset just a little bit later than I'd hoped, but anyway here it is, and without further ado let's get into the review of the LG G4. Now I've absolutely loved the predecessors to the G4, the G3, the G2. They really have been some of my favourite smartphones of the years in which they came out in, and the G4 is definitely no exception to that rule. The G4, another excellent device from LG. Now the LG G4, if you look at it, has no buttons around the outside of the device at all. The only buttons are on the back, and when you're holding it your finger just sits nicely on those buttons. Now the buttons on the back give you some functionality of volume up, down, and also the ability to obviously turn it on and off, but rarely do you even use them because of the on-screen functionality. A couple of taps on the front screen and it will turn on and off, and that to me is much more sensible and keeps the nice attractive lines of the G4 intact. Now one thing that's different from most of the other flagships that are out on the market this particular year is that LG have still provided you the ability to change out the 3000 mAh battery, and also still have the space for an SD card as well, which a lot of manufacturers have now removed. Now the actual best thing about the G4 is the screen, and it comes in with that 1440 by 2560 pixel screen, giving you around 540 ppi, which is absolutely incredible. No matter what you do or look at on the LG G4, it looks absolutely fantastic, totally crisp, and you'll have no complaints whatsoever with any of the saturation, the colours, the viewing angles, or anything else that you would associate with viewing. When you're looking at simple things like text and you're browsing the internet, the text is so clear, it's phenomenal. You can't make out any detail whatsoever within the pixels of any of the characters. They just look like straight blocks of slabby ink on the page, and they really do look absolutely incredible. The viewing experience on the LG G4 is right up there with the very best of the devices that are out on the market today. I absolutely loved the screen and everything about it. Now the software itself, we are running Android 5.1 Lollipop on here, and LG are very good at getting the updates out as well, so you will get updates to this, and they've implemented their own skin over the top of the operating system, which obviously most of us would prefer we didn't have, but it's definitely not the most imposing one I've ever used, and it's not too bad at all actually. I quite enjoy the skin that LG have put over the top. They've added some nice bits and pieces where they feel it was necessary, and in some cases it's improved it, but obviously like most people we would much prefer to just have that native Google experience. But it definitely doesn't slow down performance too much, and once you get used to it it's quite easy to navigate and to use. Now another excellent thing about the LG G4 is the camera. The camera on the G4 is just out of this world. It really is an absolutely incredible camera, not only on the back but also on the front as well. Now the camera on the back is 16 megapixel, 5312 by 2988 pixels, and it has laser autofocus, which means that the focus on anything is usually very fast indeed, much faster than some of the alternatives that are out there on the marketplace today, and that goes to both video and also to photography as well. Another great thing about the camera is it has optical image stabilization. So when you're creating videos, or even if you're creating photos and you've got a low light and maybe a high ISO or a low shutter speed, you get much less motion blur, and the ability to have that optical image stabilization jump in and be able to straighten out those photos for you really is a massive benefit, and again is not on all of the flagships that are out there today. Now in addition to this, finally someone has gone to town with the front facing camera, and they've given us a really beautiful 8 megapixel camera which gives us full 1080p video at 30 frames per second, and it's actually good usable video as well. And I think it's about time that people started to really focus on that front facing camera that we all seem to use more and more. Now in terms of video on the rear facing camera, this goes right the way up to full 4K video, which is absolutely incredible. So that will go right the way up to 30 frames per second at 2160p, and as you can see here, the video quality for a phone at 4K is absolutely phenomenal. Very crisp, very sharp, and obviously with the 4K it's got all of that detail in it as well. Now in terms of the photos come out of this absolutely fantastic. They really are incredible. The focus is 99 times out of 100 spot on. The clarity, the colours, the exposure, everything like that is usually very, very good with the LG G4, and they even manage to get the white balance right a lot of the time as well. Occasionally you do get the odd photo which is out of focus, but like I say, it really is quite rare indeed. The ability to take photos very, very quickly as well whilst refocusing is phenomenal. You literally move the camera, snap the photo, and within a second it has taken the picture. In addition to that, the software is fantastic, full manual control, and again they've done a great job with the camera. Now battery life, obviously all important battery life. I found that I can get a full day's usage out of this if I'm using it just like a normal user. If you really do go to town and start watching lots and lots of videos and playing lots of games, obviously you can cut that down a little, but it definitely does give you that full day battery life. Now in addition to this, there's some really nice accessories. You can see this circle cover case that we can get here, and LG really have made some spectacular clock faces. Absolutely fallen in love with these clock faces. They really do look absolutely incredible. Now my overall opinion on the G4, I've got to tell you this is right up there as one of my top 3 favourite Android smartphones that are out there in the market today, and being that there are so many, that really does tell you just how fantastic this phone is. The fact they've left you the ability to change the battery and also to add up to 128GB of storage with the extra SD card in the back, to me really does make this extremely flexible and gives you the ability to do things that a lot of the other smartphones on the market now cannot do and don't have those particular 2 features. LG have done a good job with the software that they've put over the top of Android Lollipop. It really isn't too intrusive and it works reasonably well as well. Doesn't seem to slow anything down too much, and that screen and that camera really are out of this world. Anyway guys, thank you very much for watching. Please do go ahead and hit that like button for me. It really does help me out, and I will see you all in the next one. See ya. This video was sponsored by Your Company Mobiles, providing SMEs throughout the UK with mobile, landline and converged solutions. Visit www.yourcompanymobiles.com or call 0800 038 5363.